We are back with the Buffalonian Podcast. I'm Joe Cali. As always, I'm joined by none other than Dom Loss. And Dom, it's been a pretty relaxing weekend, to say the least. Actually, we have a personal story from last night that might not be as relaxing, just with fantasy football purposes. But no Bills football, just got to take in the weekend. The Sabres actually had a good stretch of games last night. Not the case necessarily, but they have been playing better in general. Let's just say that. So things are on the up and up in Buffalo sports right now. Hopefully, the Bills will have to wait and see. They haven't made a move yet. No move's been made. I think they might be banking on the guys in the room or the answer. So
I guess
we'll see what happens.
They activated Harrison's IR,
his 21-day window.
So.
That's the news.
That might be something.
The suspensions are back for the Carolina game as well. So not any outside moves, I should say, to specify further. But it's been a relaxing weekend. I don't know about you. I can't really complain. It was a nice little break from Bills football after the two losses. I feel like that's kind of every year though. Like the Bills kind of go on those two like Billsy losses and then bounce back after a little while. So hopefully the same thing happens. But how'd you enjoy your bye week?
Pretty good. ND,
Notre Dame, yeah.
Notre Dame, big win.
Mm-hmm.
Sabres at least being productive. Somehow they've gotten my father somewhat back in.
I think I might be back in a little bit.
Okay, wow, jeez.
A little bit.
Well, somehow my dad's back in and is trying to convince people to go to the game with him tomorrow. Because he actually went to the Ottawa game.
Oh, yeah?
And the 8-4 game.
Yes.
Now he's kind of like somewhat back in. But yeah, it's been I think relaxing is the best word to use. And had a pretty stress-free weekend with no Bills. And excited to maybe have some conversation about what we think about the Bills, some questions that we want answered, and all that. So,
yeah, absolutely. And before we get into any specifics, though, I do want to address an elephant in the room. Just you may have heard some different things now on the Buffalonian Podcast, especially if you watch on video, if you watch or if you listen, I should say, on any streaming platform. You now hear commercials. We join the Fan First Sports Network now, so under a little bit different of an umbrella. We get some access to advertisements, so those will run here and there. We're gonna dial it in for you. We've got a new commercial liner and everything, so we're only upgrading things here at the Buffalonian Podcast. Also, gonna have some new segments coming at you throughout the week. Some will be video only. Some will be only on YouTube. Some will be like the Bills and Sabres centric stuff will be all on audio. So some of the around the NFL stuff, the betting stuff, the fantasy football stuff will be just YouTube only. But we'll make sure to tell you that on the audio episodes. Hey, go on to our YouTube channel, listen, all of that stuff. But speaking of, we do have to take a quick time out here for a word from our sponsors. We'll be right back with more of the Buffalonian Podcast right after this. All right, welcome back to the Buffalonian Podcast. If you haven't heard, if you skipped the entire intro for whatever reason, we're coming out of the bye week. Excited for the Bills. Sabres have a little bit of positivity to them now. Are you back in? I don't know. I am a little bit. We'll talk about it as we get further into the Sabres segment. But Dom has some questions here regarding the Buffalo Bills heading into week 7. Is that where 6, 7, week 8. 7, week 8? They had the week 7 bye. That's right. Yes. Game 7.
That always messes me up.
Yeah. Game 7 for the Bills. But what do we got here? What are you going to, the Dom 5 without the game, I guess. Similar. I don't even know what to call this, but go ahead.
I guess first question, it's not even a Bills related question. It's more of just your thoughts on it. Do you like the early bye?
Yes.
Because last year they did not. Remember last year they were like, 10-2. They beat San Francisco, I think, and then they had their bye.
I like the early bye,
something like that, and then they played. They had a late bye last year. So last year again, they were more than halfway through the season, got the bye, then had that little stretch to the playoff, to the end of the season, and obviously the playoffs. This year, 6 games, only about a third of the season.
Yes,
a little more. I know 17 games. It's just kind of weird.
I do like the early bye, especially it's a nice early reset. Because the Bills in years past have had the tendency to be hot coming out of the bye. So if they can be hot for the rest of the year.
8-0 under McDermott
out of the bye. So I do like the early bye, come out hot. And especially this season, I feel like it feels good because it was kind of not falling apart, but you saw the cracks forming in the foundation that a bye week could help and reset some of. So, I like the early bye though. I'm a big fan of it.
I'm not usually a big fan of the early bye.
You like it this season?
I feel like for this specific season,
yeah,
I actually think it's been positive because, they have that sour taste in their mouth the last 2 weeks. I think that's really going to motivate them. Obviously, with the suspensions, you get kind of a nice little schedule here with the bye, and then you get Carolina.
Yep, with Andy Dalton as of right now.
So we'll see. I mean, that's still going to be an interesting matchup, and we'll talk about that and betting on the Bills. But I like the schedule a little bit with how the bye has been around, like how they played going into the bye, which isn't good, but then kind of get to reset again. We chilled out, like we're chill now. I think some people have said some crazy things over the weekends.
Have you seen? Okay, I'm gonna have to say something about this because on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, just seeing people. If the Bills lose to Carolina, is McDermott gone? No. Can we stop with the fire Sean McDermott stuff? I'm so far past it. A couple seasons ago, when you and I were kind of like on the train.
We were on the train. Not kind of.
We were going. We were on the train. They made a change and things looked up, right? It wasn't necessarily McDermott. I still don't think it's McDermott at this point. I mean, sure. Does he have a hand to play in it? I'm sure. He's the head coach of the organization. He's the face of the franchise. Sure. But let's pump the brakes on firing a head coach who's doesn't he have the most winningest record here as a Bills head coach out of any franchise history? Is he close to Marv Levy?
Not too close, but I think maybe winning percentage
wise. That's what I'm thinking of. Yes. They're not going to move on from him. You want Cliff Kingsbury coming in? Is that really what we want instead of Sean McDermott? Like, let's just be honest here. The grass isn't always greener on the other side. It's like in every country song. Let's take that to heart. But that's my thoughts.
Amen to that, brother.
That's my thoughts on Sean McDermott moving on from him. Not happening.
Yeah, so early bye, especially because the last couple of years, I feel like they've had pretty late bye. So it's just been an interesting change. It's kind of weird now being like, wow, we still have, again, I'm not estimating 2/3 of the season left. It's kind of just weird. But I don't usually like it, but for this specific team and this journey this team is on for the 25 Bills,
feels right.
It feels right. All right, my next question coming out of the bye. Which suspended player or person coming back from injury do you think is going to make the biggest impact for the Bills? Who the biggest impact when we finish the 2025 Buffalo Bills story?
Who are we talking about?
Who is the one guy that we said post-bye, this guy coming back changed the equation?
This might be a little bit.
It could be, I guess, a bad or a negative thing.
It could be a negative thing. I'm going to go positive. I do think this might be a little hot, a little steamy of a take. I think Max Hairston's going to be a big impact on that secondary. Cornerback 2 has been journey to find cornerback 2. Tre'Davious White is not looking great at this point. He's looking old, right? He can't keep up. The secondary itself, we might see Jordan Poyer get some meaningful snaps. Like, we're more than likely going to see that. So it's like a young, quick guy in the secondary, especially against a Chiefs team that's just, you know what, screw it. Rashee Rice is out there somewhere. Xavier Worthy's out there somewhere. Now that their receivers are healthy, I think that could be a difference maker.
I don't think he's going to be back till week 10, though.
Oh, no. Oh, that's right. 21 days. But I still think at the end of the season and going into the postseason, like when we're kind of done with everything,
half, yeah.
When the dust settles, I do think Hoyt and Ogunjobi are going to make an impact, no doubt. I don't have a doubt in my mind about that. The depth of the defensive line is that's a huge impact. I think on big plays down the field, though, where you don't really have – even Benford hasn't been great this year. I think Hairston's speed is something that a lot of offenses don't have tape on the Bills' defense with any speed, so he might be a little bit of an X factor for them when he comes back, if he plays well. This is all a contingent of a rookie coming back from a injury and hasn't played a snap this season. So that's why I said it might be a little hot, but when the dust settles –
as a professional football player, didn't play in the preseason either.
You're right, yeah. He just – he got on Hard Knocks for 5 minutes, and then the dramatic music kicked in, and he was on the ground. So that was pretty much it. But that's why I think it might be a little hot take-ish. But
I don't know if it's hot take-ish. I think mine's hot take-ish.
What is yours?
Mine's Ogunjobi.
I don't think that. I think see him making a big impact.
No one talks about him.
No, everyone talks about Hoyt.
Everyone talks about Hoyt. Or everyone talks about.
There's
Hairston.
A reason though.
Strong.
I'm a believer in it. Ogunjobi on a 1-year deal, suspended for third to a half of the season, somewhere in there. There's a reason they kept him.
Well,
I think they think he can make an impact.
I think Obanjobi is going to be the biggest player because I think one is they need him in the short term because of all the injuries to their interior defensive line.
Yeah.
TJ Sanders is on IR.
Daquan Jones
we lost
now, right?
Dwayne Carter. We still haven't got an update yet on Daquan Jones, other than he popped his calf, which
when you hear a calf and popped in the same sentence, you just think Achilles.
I know it's been the bye, and he's gonna have a couple weeks off before, but I would doubt he plays against Carolina. So I think Obanjobi's been a guy that I feel like has been kind of miscast as a one tech and is more of that three tech.
Yeah.
And I think with Deion Walker taking, being a guy that we all thought we were going to get really good pass rush and really bad run defense, it's kind of been, we haven't really seen too much of the pass rush other than the Miami play, but he's been really solid against the run.
He has.
Playing the one tech. And it's kind of like, if you have him playing the one tech with Ed Oliver, you have your backup one tech and Daquan Jones when he comes back, really opens up Obanjobi to play more of that three tech, which I think is more of his game. And especially when you have guys like Logue, we'll see, or they'll probably put Mathis, who's more of a one tech kind of guy off the practice squad if Daquan can't play. Like, I think we're going to see Obanjobi play a little bit more three tech, and I think that could be big. I think he can make an impact if he plays three tech, which I think is his correct position. I think we could see him make a serious impact, especially coming off the suspension where he should be well rested.
Yeah.
And have some juice. Like, I think that's going to be at least help some of their run defense issues. I mean, it's not going to solve them, but I don't know. I think he's been way overlooked. I think that's not even. I think mine's higher than yours. I don't think anyone's talked about Larry Obanjobi because I think everyone thought, to be honest, everyone thought he was going to get. He had the potential to maybe just get cut after the suspension,
right? Because he's only here for
before
a year.
The season when we had 5 defensive tackles and we're like, well, like, are we sure he's even going to make the roster? And he made the roster, got obviously with the suspension. Like, are we sure he's even going to have a spot on the roster when the 6 games are up? And not only does he have a spot, he's needed. So,
yeah, it was a good. I mean, in hindsight, keeping him around was a good thing. So,
all right, I'll give you a would you rather now.
Okay.
Kind of a pick or choose. Taylor Rapp, Trey White. One of them has to play the rest of the year. Start. The other one gets replaced. Which one are you choosing and why?
Well, it's the lesser of two evils here. I don't know. I feel like Trey White's the easy answer because Harrison's going to replace him at some point. You know what I mean? Like, that's already planning on happening, I feel like. Taylor Rapp, who do you get in there? Like, you get DeMar Hamlin's injured.
One of the two, Jordan Hancock, or
Jordan Hancock, I guess.
Or Poyer.
Jordan Poyer, like, meaningful snaps from Jordan Poyer sends a shiver up my spine. I don't really like to hear that in the year of 2025 going on. But do you like
the sound of Taylor Rapp playing meaningful snaps?
No, he's a liability. I mean, that secondary itself. I think the Bills are at the point.
Listen, you had to pick one. Okay. Stop dancing around it.
Tre'Davious White.
Trey White.
Because I think Harrison's going to come in and do a little better.
I think it's an interesting conversation because I think you would probably say Taylor Rapp has been a bigger issue than Tre'Davious White.
He has been, but also his replacements I think are just as bad. So, like, how bad? Like,
I guess that's true. You would say that you have a real opportunity to. I guess this is the conversation that has to be had. I just don't think it could be worse than Taylor Rapp.
No,
and that's why I'm going to go T-Rapp because I think first off, I think there's a real chance that Trey has this starting spot a lot longer than people anticipate. With Harrison or Strong coming back from injury. And I just think you have to make a change somewhere coming off the bye. And I think that's the spot. And I understand the whole conversation of you need T-Rapp and Cole Bishop to have chemistry. I just think everybody on that team is pressing because of how bad Taylor Rapp has been or how untrustworthy the safeties have been. And I think Cole Bishop is just a high variance player who's had his ups and downs.
Yeah. And
I think you need to find a partner that can stabilize him. And Taylor Rapp has not been that through 6 weeks. I don't think it's going to change off the bye. And I'm not saying they have a long-term answer at safety with Jordan Poyer or Hancock. I just think they need to try something different to maybe allow all the rest of the 1/11th of the defense to take a take a breath.
Yeah.
Relax. Like I just don't think Hancock or Poyer could be worse. I mean, they could be the same, which is terrible, but it can't be worse, right? Like, I'll be honest, Harrison or even Strong could come back, and they could be worse than Trey White.
They could.
Trey White has been about below average.
Yeah, just
right?
below.
He's been below average.
He's not terrible, but he's below average.
I just think if they had a more reliable safety, it will help Cole Bishop's game, and it will help Trey White's game.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
I agree with you.
Like, I think you can make the case where you can make the case of, like, if you add Harrison, it allows you to play more man coverage, right? Changes up your defensive scheme a little bit, and maybe that's what the Bills need. I'm talking more though. I think the Bills need their players to play better too.
Oh, 100%.
Like, there's a coaching and a player issue. 100%. I think if you choose Trey White, you're like, I think it's more of the coaching needs to change the scheme and the philosophy, and Harrison's so much different from Trey White, right? Or you could be from the player perspective, which I'm kind of leaning towards, which is if you take out the rotten apple of Taylor Rapp, maybe some of these people elevate their games just a little bit, and it then will help elevate the defense.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Because I think everyone else is pressing because Taylor Rapp has been so bad.
You know what change I think we might actually see?
And then they could both be changed. I mean, that's what I'm saying. They both should be changed.
Very, very well. Both.
It shouldn't just be like they both should be changed because I think it changes the scheme.
Yeah.
With the Harrison,
switches things up, especially. I mean, Harrison's going to be later, like you said.
Yeah.
Like,
will it happen? Probably not. I don't
mean,
think any
both?
changes in the short term. I don't think any changes are happening.
No. They're going to run. They're going to try and run with the head. They should, but stubbornness is something we've seen with this organization before. So, one change I do think could happen, we could see linebacker.
What part?
I think they swap.
I don't think that's
Terrell
going to
Bernard
happen at all.
No, you don't think so?
That one I think has a 0.0 chance of happening.
No.
No, I mean, no.
Why?
Because I think that's a massive change in the middle of your season.
Mm-hmm.
And you have a guy in Terrell Bernard who you've signed to a 4-year contract extension, who you put the C on his jersey. And Shaq Thompson has been awesome. I'm cool with him playing the role he's been playing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that'll F up your room a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, Bernard just got to play better,
like,
at the end of the day.
Maybe you're going to screw up your room anyways because T-Rap is beloved apparently in the room, or Trey White has a lot of respect. But I think making a change to your captain when you have a guy like Taylor Rapp who's been terrible, and Trey White who's clearly not getting it done on outside cornerback, I think moving your captain, that to me is a step too far.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's not. I'm just mostly looking at that from like the morale perspective.
I understand what you're looking at it from, but also Bernard does have to play better.
He has to play better.
Like, it's been a glaring issue.
It's been a massive issue.
Yeah. So that's the only reason I say, like, you could see that happen, but I don't know. It's just tough. If you're asking me, I'm going to be honest with you. I think this team goes to the philosophy of all gas, no brakes. Like, let's just put up 50 points on them. And, if they score 40, they score 40. All gas, no brakes. I think that might be what has to happen here. I'm going to be honest with you. Are you confident that the Bills' defense will be able to stop Kansas City when they play? Because I'm not at all. I have zero level of confidence to that.
No. Do I think they could get some stops in the playoffs?
Yeah.
Potentially. With some changes. With changes. They need to make changes.
But if this roster...
The current iteration, no.
No. Coming up in a couple weeks, no. I think this is going to be... Alan, you got to score a touchdown every drive.
I don't know about that. I don't know. I think that's a little doomy. I think they have the guy. I think they have some guys on the roster that need to just simply play better.
Right.
And they need to change up their scheme. And that will come from reinforcements. My next question.
Mm-hmm.
Who is the player on the team that needs to step up and really... But like, who hasn't been talked about enough? Because I have a name of a player that I think needs to play just not just better, but I think it changes their team a little bit. Not like Taylor, like that. Not the base.
I gotta say Bosa.
You think Bosa needs to play better?
He's getting, and maybe Rousseau, the other side of it. He's kind of come alive a little bit, but he's got to be more consistent for this next run. I'd say Rousseau's my pick.
Yeah, Bosa's been really good as a pass rusher. He needs to be better as a run
defender.
Better
setting the edge for a run.
That's true.
Yeah.
He's taking way too many risks as a run defender.
Both sides, I think,
have
Bosa
stuff to work out.
Yeah. Different things, but they can.
I'll go someone who's beloved in the fan base.
Allen?
No. That's a good, actually not a bad one.
No, because I think he needs to play better too.
I think Khalil Shakir.
I 100% agree with you.
I think a massive problem with this team is this. I think the Bills, like, I think Keon and like Josh Palmer are fine outside receivers.
Yeah.
Right. I don't think they could be your best outside receivers on a good team, on like a really like good passing offense, and that's the problem that the Bills have. They still kind of get open. Listen, the problem with that Falcons game is they just got pressured to get all in. Josh has some clearly has some trust issues with people that he doesn't trust.
Right. He
That's clear.
doesn't trust you. Yeah.
But I think Shakir. Listen, I know that they focused on him last game. I think he's a. It's kind of weird to say this, and I might get flack for this. I feel like he's a guy that they need to put more on the outside, because I think he can win on the outside. I think him just being always in the slot, parked in the slot, I think actually is limiting the Bills' passing attack.
It hinders, yeah. You're
because
100%
I'm not
right.
one of those that really like the Keon slot thing, like the power slot thing. Fine, like his numbers are like really not that great in the slot either. Like
No,
I just
he
think,
does get separation going across the middle.
I just
of the
feel
field,
like
though.
I just think I think they need to he needs to run more diverse route tree. I don't know if but I don't. They must not trust that he could do that, right? But I think the problem with the Bills' passing attack is simply this: Dalton Kincaid is not playing enough. Right, he's playing like 49.6% of snaps, and I think people look at that and say that's a Dawson Knox. Like when you look at Dawson Knox's snap, they're like,
yeah,
but like I don't think it is. I think it's a fact of they have Shakir just parked in the slot, and I think Dalton Kincaid's a better option in the slot than Shakir.
I agree with you,
and I think that's something that needs to change. Like that's how he's going to get more run is less Shakir, but I also think Shakir is like their best receiver. So like, how do they get him and Kincaid on the field? I think they need to be more creative that way.
Yeah, I like that. Here's just a question. I agree with you. This is just food for thought on the other side.
Because his efficiency is out of control. Now, I think of a more role. Obviously, I don't think his efficiency will stay as high as it is, but he's still a damn good player, and I think he needs to be on the field more.
So it's kind of what I want to bring up. His efficiency, you're right, is off the charts right now. Probably wouldn't stay the same, which is fine, because more sample size, you have more room for error, whatever. Is he staying healthy because of well, he's technically not, actually. He's out. But is it longevity-wise?
No.
Like, is he better off playing less because he always gets injured on these little things if he's out there more?
I mean, I don't know, man. I think the Bills coming out of this bye need to start playing their best players. And it's clear, again, we talked about this before the Falcons game. Unfortunately, he was injured and didn't actually play. We thought he might go. But, like, he's clearly their best receiving option. And he's clearly taken a step. Like, from a physicality perspective, I know he's not an inline blocker, and I know their run game might struggle a little bit. I just think they need to find a way to get him more on the field. And I think people look at that, again, as a Hawes or Knox issue, when I really think it's like, no, he just needs to be like their full-time slot receiver.
Yeah, he needs
but
to
the problem is they've paid Shakir, who's a good player, who, again, I think is the best receiver on the team. But, like, I think Shakir can win outside, and I think they need him to start playing a little bit more outside so that Kincaid can play more.
Yeah.
Or have Kincaid, or instead, just have Kincaid be your X receiver.
Have him line up on the outside.
No, I'm being serious. Like I think he could be corners.
Love that. I would love that.
You know, like, I think they need to be a little bit more creative with him and get him on the field more.
Yeah.
And I think some of it has to do with Shakir, and some of it has to do with maybe you'd be a little bit less effective in the ground game.
It's also looking at the ground game. Speaking of the running backs, throw to them more.
They didn't throw them, but they never threw. They didn't throw to the running backs as much as people think they did last year.
I'm not saying
they were
did.
just more effective.
It was just when they did it. You're right. When they did it, it worked. I'm saying they should do it more because James Cook, yes, he had some drops earlier in his career. I understand that. We dogged on him for that. I remember that. But look at what Bijan Robinson's able to do for Atlanta. That's part of the reason you got killed by them. He was lined up on the outside on third down attempts, and like taking James Cook off the field and putting Ty Johnson out there by himself just to pass block, in my opinion, is a mistake. That's when you move James Cook to the outside or put him in the receiver lineup somewhere there. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, just people. Joe Brady, you were very creative when you first got here. Let's get back to that. I'd be okay with a little sugar high performance with things going all over the place, you know? I feel like it's trying to be conservative. And this is the thing that bothers me. People mention this. Are the Bills holding back?
Well, sure.
Yeah, maybe they are, right? Because they don't want to let everything out of the box.
Well, I don't know.
But like I don't think they're purposefully, like, if they know something's going to work or they want to try something, they're going to do it. They're not going to be like, "Oh, we got to save for Kansas City in the playoffs." That's not their mindset.
I disagree with that.
You don't think so?
I thought they think some of that way.
I think that's just being scared.
I don't think scared's the right word. I mean, why do you think Josh Allen's not running on designed runs?
Well, he does better scrambling anyway.
Why aren't we seeing the tush push as much?
No, because it didn't work. You gotta figure something else out.
I think it's like they don't want to put extra hits on Josh's body.
Well, right. I agree with that too.
Like, I think, and whether you agree with that or not, that they should be trying to maximize their opportunities to win the game instead of withholding plays. I think that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
Which I'm honest to God, I don't have a problem with. I guess I'm on the.
You might be in the minority there. Yeah.
I don't have a problem with them not running Josh.
I really don't. Them not running Josh is not my problem. It's just, I don't know. I just feel like holding things back.
What part are they not holding back though?
I don't know, like the dink and dunk stuff. Everybody's saying, like, like, are they holding back big passing plays or like crazy looks?
I don't believe that.
Like, I don't think that's true.
So if you don't believe that, then like I don't believe that.
No, I'm saying I was more upset with the people saying stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
That's where I was coming from.
I mean, I don't know. I think there are some things where I think the Bills are trying to figure out who are the Bills. Right? I guess that's another question.
I don't think they have an identity.
A question has to be, who are the 2025 Bills on both sides of the ball? And I think it's a problem through 6 weeks. You really kind of don't know. Right? You see what they're trying to do,
but they're not successfully.
But do they have the personnel or the coaching to pull it off? Right? Like, I don't know. The Bills are 31st in the NFL on neutral zone pass rate. They clearly want to. Their personnel has a good offensive line and a good ground game. Do they lean into that too much? I don't know. Because I'll say this, when it was shut down and they should have adjusted, they didn't.
No, they did not.
Against the Patriots. And then against the Falcons, when they should have stuck with it, right, and just ran the ball down their throat,
they diverted. Yeah, for whatever reason.
So, like,
was what was getting you yardage at that point.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the last two losses, it's like they should have diverted in the Patriots game and stayed with their, what they were doing with the ground game. And they didn't. And I think, I don't know who that falls on. Does that fall on Josh a little bit? I mean, he has some control at the line of scrimmage. That's why I think it's sometimes confusing to be like, oh, Joe Brady this. I feel like Josh has some command to change up some plays.
Yeah.
He's in year 8. So, like,
I would agree. I would say 60-40, 70-30, somewhere in there.
Like that.
I just
I think the Bills need to come out of this bye and create an identity. And the identity on offense should be, we have a great offensive line. We are going to be built from the ground game. We have a superhuman quarterback, and we have a number of pass catchers. None of them are maybe great,
except for your tight end.
Except maybe we have a good tight end, and we have a bunch of average players. But
why does it sound like the Chiefs, like, for the past 3 years?
But again,
really does.
I think they have enough players on offense where I'm not super concerned. Defensively, it's like, we need to change from all this. We need to play more match zone. We need to play more man. I think that's a personnel change that we had to see.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
like, that's why offensively, it's like, oh, they should bench Keon. Like, okay, who Tyrell Shavers? Really?
Yeah, no.
Is that's a massive upgrade?
No.
Well, I'm sorry. Like, I saw people like Ray McLeod was cut today. Like, oh, we should put Waiver Clem in. I was like, who is he? Outright better than? I'm sorry. Like, I think some of it is like, they're just gonna have to roll with the guys that they have. They've shown they can score with these weapons.
They have, and look at the Baltimore game. That was against a very good team, very good, healthy defense at that point. Baltimore, clearly not the case anymore, but they were able to put up 41 points and win that game look at what they did in the final 2 minutes, final 10 minutes. Like, I think they're capable. It's just the coordinator and quarterback have to get a better identity built for the team. And I do think some changes, like you said, lining Kincaid up maybe on the outside or having him in the slot, moving Shakir out to the outside, having Knox or Hawes still out there with Kincaid at all times, but them blocking or whatever. Sure, I'm fine with anything. Realistically, I think it just you gotta do something to show signs of life. And not that they didn't have full signs of life before. We weren't on the life support system by any means. But consistency and not just putting it up for 1 week and then going off of it the next to try and do something different. Like that's like what you said with New England, Atlanta. If something's working, that's the thing though. I'm so confused by it. Joe Brady, what did he do in that Dallas game? He didn't go off of the run. He ran the entire game with James Cook. Like that's what he used to do.
I think what you have to come to realization with this Bills team is defensively, they are not good enough to win the Super Bowl with the personnel they've played with the first 6 weeks.
No. And that's mostly the
or
personnel
how
you're going to see
they've coached.
Mm-hmm.
Now, hopefully, you get a little bit healthier. You get these guys coming back from suspension. You maybe get some changes in your secondary. You change up who you are a little bit on defense with your philosophy. And you can maybe not quite be like, oh, we can win a Super Bowl with this defense. But it's not. It's a defense that can at least slow down teams you are going to have to beat to win the Super Bowl. On offense, this offense, as it's constructed, is good enough to win a Super Bowl. I think that's obvious.
Mm-hmm.
However, I don't think they are the offense that they need to help their defense win the Super Bowl at the moment. If that makes sense. They need their offense to be better because they don't have a defense that they can rely on to get stops.
Yeah, they got to score.
You know what I'm saying?
It's all gas, no brakes.
I don't think it's all gas, no brakes. I think that's wrong. That's a wrong way of looking at it. I just think at the moment it is. But I think you could say if they get a little bit better on defense to make it a more resistant defense, you know, maybe they can be a little bit more consistent. Maybe they just sacrifice some of those. Oh, they get a lot of tackles for losses, but explosives. Maybe they limit the explosives a little bit better, right? And they could get some stops.
Mm-hmm.
And offensively, it's more of, can they stop playing so scared of their defense? And can they get some trust in their defense so offensively they can play to their highest standard?
Yeah, I think it's going to be pending on watching the defense. The defense, even with the additions, is still struggling to get home, make a stop, get off the field on third down. Then I do think it has to eventually evolve into the offense has to go down and score because you can't really rely on your defense to get a stop. Like that, I'm not saying it's 100% going to be that, but that philosophy change, if your defense can't stop anything, you got to go to your strength, and your strength is your offense at that point. Like,
well, no,
you know,
like that. They want to score every possession. I'm saying, I think a thing that has happened to the Bills is that they're not playing complementary football.
No, not
the
at all.
The defense has given them at least enough stops the last 2 weeks, so they should have won.
Mm-hmm.
Their offense hasn't come through.
No, you're right.
And that's what needs to change. Is I think their defense, again, how they would play in a neutral zone script is not good enough to win the Super Bowl. However, if they play in a script where their offense can get off to better starts in the first half and take advantage of it, the defense gets some early stops in the game, if the offense can take advantage, then all of a sudden the defense can play to their strength, right? Which is probably their pass rush, right? It's not their run defense. If they can figure out some twinks in the secondary, get a little bit more depth on the defensive line, they can play to their strengths, which is now all of a sudden those offenses have to play one-dimensional.
Mm-hmm.
They can't be run and pass. It's like in college football when you're playing the game and you guess, right? If you're guessing run and they throw a pass, guess what? All your guys are still playing the run, and now all of a sudden there's guys open.
Yeah.
If you're guessing pass and it's like, oh, they could run the ball, guess what? You just gave up 8 yards. If you put offenses in the that's what I'm saying about the Bills offense is that the New England game, they scored 3 points in the first half. How different a game is that? Is if they score that touchdown in the third quarter, instead it's 10-6, it's 17-6.
And they need to play cleaner in general. There have been
Right.
a lot of penalties.
A lot of penalties, a lot of unfortunate. Like the offense needs to be better to then allow the defense to play at their best. It's kind of the opposite of how I would want my team. Like I want my defense to allow my offense. I would want a defense I could trust to get stops, so that my offense doesn't have to feel like they had to get off to a fast start every game.
Oh, right.
But
that's what I'm saying. I think we're saying similar things.
No, you're saying all gas, no brake, that the offense has to be perfect. I don't think that.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely a hyperbole.
I think the offense in the first half of games especially needs to play at a better execution level. There's too many drives that end in
I
penalties.
agree with you. Yeah.
But I don't think they have to score in every drive. I just think they have to play more complementary football. Like when a defense gets a stop for you, you need to reward the defensive score.
I agree with that. But
they didn't do that.
No, I agree. I 100% agree with you.
They scored a touchdown to make it 21-14. The defense then rewards you by getting you the ball back.
And they didn't capitalize.
And then they get a blocked field goal. Like your special teams comes through for you.
It's either been the offense is on and the defense is off, or the defense is on and the offense is off. They, like you said, they haven't played complementary.
But again, also the defense, the last 2 games, especially the first half against New England, the second half not so much. They gave some points, right? Then all of a sudden you had to be then all of a sudden it's not complementary football, because then all of a sudden it's 20-10, and now the offense has to be perfect. They had to score 2 touchdowns to win. They score a touchdown and a field goal, and your defense gives up a long field goal and you lose.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying about the defense. I don't think the defense will ever be good enough to win the Super Bowl. I just don't.
I don't think so either.
But if they're put into where they have some advantage to what is coming because of their offense, they can win the Super Bowl. That's where I don't think in the scope of in a vacuum do I think this defense is good enough to win the Super Bowl. I do not.
No, I agree.
But can I see a scenario where they do? Sure. It just has to be the right scenario. They don't have a lot of, the game could go this way.
Yeah, right.
They don't.
Well, even last season, Jordan Phillips is the one who gave him a fighting chance on a stop in the Kansas City AFC Championship. So, you never know when a stop can come. I agree. But, yeah, they do need to play more complementary.
Well, also in that game, this is a perfect example too. Also in that game, it's 20-10, 21-10. They didn't get off to a good start in that game, where they scored before the end of the half. Guess what happens in the beginning of the second half of that Chiefs game? The defense got the stop, right? And then what? The Bills scored on that James Cook touchdown to make it 22-21. The defense then rewarded them with another stop, and then you get the Josh Allen doesn't convert in the 4th and 1.
Yeah.
Right? And then the game is... But then, also, the defense at 29-29 does get the stop. It's all right, you held them to 3. Anyone would have signed up for that. And the offense doesn't come through. That's what I'm saying. It's unfortunate, but it's going to come down to that again.
Yeah.
It's going to come down to... The offense in these games
capitalizing on a stop
need to capitalize when the defense gives you stops, because you can't count on the defense to give you any more stops than they have given you at the moment.
No, you have to be efficient, and you have to hope to God the defense gets you a couple stops.
I don't think perfect football is the right word. I just think
efficient.
They have to play efficient and clean football, and if they don't do that, we saw against Atlanta, right? Josh throws a bad pick. Should have been more points.
Yeah.
Right? We saw that against New England. New England's probably a better example, right? The fumbles and the execution. So,
yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the Bills end up doing just as the season goes on, because it's the defense does have to improve. The offense definitely has to improve. And, we said we had thought through it all, and clearly stuff has come up.
I just think that's what their winning formula for the Super Bowl is.
I agree with you. I think the offense has to get back to form from last season and just being able to put points on the board. Not every drive, not perfect. But the defense also, I would like to see a couple stops from them, and maybe these players coming back from suspension will be able to do that. And you hope, because if not, then it's going to be interesting end of the season here. Then it might be all gas, no brakes. If the defense can't do it, if they can't correct, then it's okay, Josh.
I just think
we got to score every drive here.
I just think you're allowed to be frustrated that the Bills spent so many resources
on defense
to
and
change
came up
up their
short.
defense, and it seems that how many of those investments are really turning out to be good?
Yeah,
But I think the Bosa one's a good one. Sorry, I think
Bosa investment's a good investment.
Bosa's been investment. Groot's in the probably the bucket of underachieving.
You look at a lot of these defensive picks, though.
Not getting a lot.
Not getting
Some
a
of that's
lot.
injury, right? Sanders wasn't great before he got injured, but
Sure.
Jackson we knew was a long Jackson. I don't know. Jackson we knew was not a first year player, right? He was a redshirt caliber player. So I guess you could be frustrated. I think saying, "Oh, that was a good pick at the time," and now being frustrated by it, I think is a little bit hypocritical.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the opportunity on Sunday. I think this is a really good opportunity for the Bills to go on the road against a feisty Carolina team, over 500 Carolina team, and get a win and get some momentum back into the positive direction before you play a really good Chiefs team at home. Like the Chiefs game is at home.
And the Chiefs they're back.
They're a good team.
They're back. From a slow start with injuries, suspensions.
They're a good team. I don't know if they're fully back.
Mahomes is playing different than he has in the past couple of years. He's scrambled. He's able to move more than he has.
I don't know. I'm not being a Chiefs hater. I don't think they're fully back.
I want to agree with you, but I just have, I don't know. I feel like watching them this season, like I said, Mahomes kind of looking like he did in 2020, just being able to move.
We'll see.
Like, I guess it is kind of just have to
Listen,
wait and see, but they are dangerous.
We say this every year, though, but the Bills in the regular season, like, you know that's a big game for them. They knocked you out 4 to 5 years. Like, every year, the Bills, I feel like, played some of their best games against Kansas City. So,
yeah,
we'll see what happens. But that's 2 weeks away. We're on to Carolina.
On to Carolina. You'll be able to catch all of the pre-coverage there on our Betting on the Bills episode this coming Friday, along with a couple of the new things coming out later this week. But yeah, the Bills are an interesting case. We're going to see what they look like against the Panthers. And, that's a team where with Andy Dalton under the helm, if Bryce Young's not healthy.
He's supposed to be out, high ankle sprain.
So if Andy Dalton, when he's under the helm there, and we'll see if they go with Rico Dowdle, the more efficient running back in Carolina, or if they stick with Chuba. I don't know. I'm nervous if it's Rico. With the Bills defense, I am a little bit. Just stopping the run has not been a strong suit. But
it's you know what this game reminds me of? They're better than the Jets, even though they just put the Jets to 1 score.
Mm-hmm.
Reminds me a little bit of the Jets game. Like we
With
saw
Breece
the
Hall.
Jets week 1
Yeah.
really ran the ball really efficiently, and we were all like, "Oh my god, like this is a terrible matchup for the Bills."
Because they couldn't stop Derrick Henry.
Right, and they came into New York. They were motivated. They were hyped up because of all that noise, and they played a really good game. I think we could see a similar performance on the road against Carolina, of the fact of they have 2 good backs. Their offensive line's playing really well, moving people in the run game.
Mm-hmm.
You guys can't stop the run. You guys can't do this and that. And I think we could see the Bills defense, at least for 1 week, maybe have a nice performance.
Yeah, maybe as good of a performance as they had against the Jets. We'll see. But again, take it with a grain of salt, because you don't want to die on the hill there and say they're back when they're not. But to a different team in Buffalo, actually putting together some wins. They're 2-4-0 right now, the Buffalo Sabres. And those wins, and even yesterday's loss, you got to say, I feel better about the last 3 games than I do the first 3. The last night's game, the first period was very reminiscent of the first 3 games. But the second period, you had Matthias Samuelsson fighting for his guys again. You have some vibes, some life in this team. I'm not fully back to where I was before the season started, but I do see a lot of upside potential with this team if they continue to play. Like Norris being out, yeah, that sucks. And we just got to swallow the pill on that one. But right now, Benson's back. He's playing well. Josh Doan is playing really well.
Cooley looked like to be playing better after his demotion.
He did. You've got guys out there who are making a difference, and if you can continue to do that, at least string some wins together, got as good a chance as anyone.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess it's a little weird because they lost last night, so maybe you're a little bit more down that they lost. I just think this team needs its star players to be stars.
Yeah. When they're playing hot, they play hot.
And I think this is the story of their careers. Like Darlene, I think has not been good enough. I mean, I think we have really high expectations for him. We have the expectation that he could be, and if he was on a better team, maybe he is, the best defenseman in the entire league. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's played at that level, and I think Tage Thompson hasn't played to his level either. I don't think he's been very good at all.
No.
I mean, Dahlian's just been a little disappointing because he's been slow start, and Tage has just
He
not
did
played
ruffle
well.
Marchand's feathers, though.
Yeah, I mean, Tage hasn't played well, and he's notorious for slow starting. But how many more years are we going to get by with? Oh, yeah, we lost the season in October and November because we just didn't play the first, 10 games, which is 8 to 10 games, which is 10% of your schedule. Like, you just kind of threw down the trash because you guys weren't ready. Like,
Yeah. No, that's the most frustrating
I think
part.
that is the most frustrating part. It's kind of like something has to change for you in the offseason for you to stop
They
playing.
don't, though. Every offseason, the roster stays 90%
No,
the
I'm
same.
talking about what like Tage Thompson and some of their players do in the offseason. Like, you gotta change your stuff up a little bit because it's not working.
No, nothing's changed.
It's not working. They're not playing well in the beginning of the season. And listen, their power play looks better. I mean, again, Josh Doan being on that power play, I think
made a little bit of a difference. Yeah,
with the same thing, our boy Benson, who we love, like getting puck retrievals, playing physical in front of the net. When we talk about harder to play against and we talk about grit, this is why it's so hard
to be back.
This is why it's so important when people go like, "Oh, we need grit, we need hard," and it's like, we need John Scott. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no, dude. What you need is a guy like Josh Doan or a guy like Zach Benson, who's a skilled player but is just a freaking dog.
Yeah.
Like, but they
don't care if they're flying
play
into
with the puck.
Yeah.
It's not Zemnis Girgensons who can't do anything. Like, he'll just like skate the puck off his foot.
Yeah, no.
Or past you in his skates. Like,
you've got Benson diving all over the place, Doan diving, like guys just not afraid to go face first into the goal.
But they have offensive skill. Like,
they do.
You need to have both.
You can't just be an absolute animal out there doing whatever you want.
That's like Malenstein. It's like, but like Malenstein's those guys. Like, all right, he's fine at the fourth. He's really fine, a fine fourth line player.
Mm-hmm.
He really is. He doesn't have he's one of those guys that's like the grit thing, but
doesn't have the skill.
Doesn't have the skill. It's fine to have a couple of those guys. It's fine to have a line of those guys.
Yeah, to just aggravate the other team.
That's
fine.
But like playing Gearston, who plays like 4 minutes, and you're playing like basically at 11-6.
Mm-hmm.
Like, can we not? Like, I don't understand how this organization continues to do that to lineups. It's really appalling.
Yeah.
And how many times are we gonna like? I like Ryan McLeod. Was always pro that trade day one.
Mm-hmm.
Always pro the extension day one.
Yes.
He is not a second line center. Just isn't.
Mm-hmm.
No fault of the man.
No, he's just not.
He's getting paid $5 million a year, which is kind of third line center money coming up in the cap
with the raising cap coming up. Yeah.
Like, this is the whole problem with banking your season on Josh Norris and then Tage becoming a full-time winger. Is now you have Kulik having to play the first line center role, which again, he wasn't good at the beginning of the year. Now he's kind of come back around.
Yeah.
But you had to deal with all those ups and downs because he's a young player and you had to count on him. And now it's McLeod, who's clearly playing out of position at second line center and is struggling. It's like, yeah, and don't get me started on Peyton Krebs playing third line center. He sucks. Like, I'm sorry, he's a replacement player. Like, put him on the fourth line. Stop putting him in the third line. Same thing with Jack Quinn. Those two guys are replacement level players at this point.
Yeah.
Gotta stop counting on them.
Right. No, you're absolutely right.
And guess what? They can't because they refuse to like play Resign or Ostlund. Like, I'm sorry, those guys need to start playing up like in the top three lines. Like, Ostlund being in the press box does what?
Nothing.
Like, wouldn't it have made a lot more sense if Gearston, who's playing 4 minutes a night, is in the press box, and Krebs goes down to the fourth line, you put McLeod to your third line, you try out Ostlund, who has some offensive skill, young player.
Yeah.
See what they did with Kulik, like put him on the second line.
You would think.
But like, that's what's frustrating.
There's no organizational foresight with this team whatsoever.
No foresight. And it's all like, it just feels like it's such an old mantra.
It is, and then it's reactive when things are burning down. You try and it doesn't work.
Like, it's just frustrating. It's like, why are we seeing this in your end? And like, the defense has been kind of hit or miss. Do I think it's better than last year? To be honest, no. I know they're down Kessling, but again, Michael Kessling is a good player.
Shouldn't be changing your entire.
But like, he's not going to go in. That's what I'm saying. He's not going to go in there and change your team all the way up.
It's like saying Jordan Poyer coming up for Taylor Rapp's going to change the second.
Exactly.
It's not.
Like it might be a little bit of an improvement because it can't get like you're replacing.
You're at the bottom of the barrel.
You're replacing someone who's at the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
But it's like
it's not gonna flip it on its head, making it an A-grade defense.
And
Like it's not
like,
happening.
How much better would the team be if they just would have traded Byram for Ford?
Right. That's the big thing.
Like I think you have
all offseason you hear, oh, boom, Byram's getting moved. He's getting traded. And then nothing.
And that's why they need Tage to play better too, is because they're a team that I think is producing on 5-on-5 quality, but their finishing has been terrible, and he's your best finisher, and he's off to a cold start.
Yeah.
And they don't have Josh Norris for the time being. And
I got to say their penalty kill's been okay. It's probably one of the better parts of their team.
Fine.
I feel like it's been fine.
I feel like they do a good job in the zone, and Lyon has been really awesome.
Lyon has been...
So I think he saved them a little bit.
A little bit.
I think for whatever reason, the Sabres just refuse to play the blue line. Like it's just too easy to get in the zone. Like I'm sorry, like make them a little work.
No, they kind of let them in and then play from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why they do that.
I don't either. You're just setting them up.
Power play's been better. I mean, their goaltending has been good. It's not even that average. It's been good.
Yeah,
And the power play.
Listen, UPL.
The power play has been fine.
UPL might not be
he's
looking...
on a conditioning assignment. We'll see. But
he is. But when he comes back, if Lyon's still playing the way he is,
it's Lyon's crease.
It's Lyon's net.
But like
without question.
My frustration is they just don't have the team. They don't have the roster to lose players and have players replace them.
No, they don't have depth.
Like they don't have the depth, and they have refused to play these prospects who are supposed to be so highly doubted and have been drafted. I mean, I'm sorry, what is this year 5 for Razine and year 3 or 4 after getting drafted for Austin? Like, I'm sorry, like let's give one of them a shot. Like it can't be worse than Jack Wynn.
Well, when Vegas won the Cup a few years back, I remember having these podcasts and talking about how deep they are, and that team specifically, like their fourth liners were like the Sabres' second line. You know what I mean? Like
the problem
that's
with
what
the Sabres is this:
they need depth.
This is the easiest way to explain the problem with the Sabres. If everyone was able to play, everybody is playing at the highest role they can play.
Yeah,
everyone is playing at their ceiling role. So when you lose someone and someone has to go up, now they're out of their element.
Yeah,
right.
They're falling off the top.
Ryan
of the
McLeod is a third line center. Perfectly fine him being a third line center. However, if you have an injury to your center core, he's now playing second line center. Right?
Yeah.
And it's like Payne Krebs. Fine. He's a replacement player. He's perfectly fine on the fourth line. Now all of a sudden you have an injury, and he's the one that has to come up and play the third line. Right? And that's not he's out of his depth. Right? Right? Like I think we're safe too because Josh Doan has been awesome. Josh Doan before the season was kind of a bottom 6 forward for Utah.
He's been elite.
And now he's playing like a top 6 forward for the Sabres, but it's like, man, if he wasn't playing like a top 6 level, like
we'd be in trouble.
And Benson, we said was a top 6 forward, just didn't have the point production. He's played like a top line winger. Like some of it's not all bad. It's just
there's no like we said, the Bills aren't playing complimentary. There's not a lot of complimentary stuff going on. Just Sabres roster construction wise. There's like you said,
it's a weak
someone
roster.
Goes down, you have nobody. It's bad.
Josh Doan can't be the Hart Trophy winner.
No.
Like, that's what I'm saying about Josh Doan. It's the same thing with Kesselring. Like, Kesselring goes down, and now all of a sudden, it's like, where do you put Bo Byram? Power, who's playing a power? Like, now all of a sudden, Samuelson's playing a lot of minutes. You had to play, a Ryan Johnson. You had to play a Connor Tibbins up in the lineup, right? Who's like a 6th defenseman. Bryson. Like, these guys are 6th and 7th defensemen. They're playing, some of these guys have to play top 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Because you're down a guy and you don't have another guy that can, do that. I think that's the number one issue with this team.
They have a weakness.
Is
depth.
They just, like, they have guys that, this is a frustration. They have guys that can replace their bottom of the lineup. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they have lower line depth.
Yeah.
They don't have top line depth.
Like, if Timmons got injured and you're like, all right, Bryson has to play third pair for us for a month. You're like, okay. I'm not really getting that much
The
change.
world's not burning down, and they're going to be similar.
Or it's like Payne Krebs out for a month, yet, Tyson Kozak has to come in.
Sure.
Okay. Sure.
Expect maybe a similar, maybe a little more, maybe
a
little less, whatever.
Yeah.
It's not going to blow up the team.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's like Josh Norris is down. Yeah, we're going to have like 4 people now play up. It's like,
yeah, you've got the coaching staff staring at a sheet of paper for the line combinations, and looks like Zach Galifianakis in The Hangover trying to figure out what to do, what combinations to use, because they just don't have any depth. They got to move the entire top 2 lines around.
Yeah,
Like, it's bad.
It's annoying.
Yeah.
And there's no real way to fix it other than make a trade, but no one's going to trade.
They're not. It's so early in the season. They're not going to trade.
I'll be positive. I'll change on to be positive, though. I think there are some things that have been a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
Alex Lyon has been awesome. Benson and Dome have been awesome. Kulik has bounced back. I think Tuck has played well. And Powers had some really good moments. And in the next week, you should get Kessler a couple weeks. Well, I don't know how long he's going to be out. Hockey's weird. But, Kessler can maybe help your team out. I mean, you'd hope he would. Like, he's the main piece of the Paterka trade. Like, so I think that's something to look forward to. It's hard for me to get super excited about the team at the moment because it's like, who's the forward that's going to come in and change the team?
Yeah, no.
While Josh Norris is on the shelf, and
it has one.
But it has to be one of their prospects.
Yeah, but they're not going to.
But they barely play.
They refuse to do it.
No,
and that's the frustration with everything. It's just lack of initiative, almost on a. Yeah, that's where it could get frustrating.
I'd rather lose. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I'd rather lose with Noah Austin playing second line center and him being a little bit out of his depth and be like, well,
figuring himself
out,
mm-hmm.
than just losing of him sitting up eating some salty popcorn.
Right. Let the young guys get on there and see what happens. Because what if something works?
But what the problem
clicks?
is that everybody knows if they don't make the playoffs, they're gonna get axed.
Yeah, they're done.
So why would you develop a prospect?
Yeah, they're kind of looking at it as do or die.
And that's dumb because look what happened to Kulik. Everyone thought going into the year, oh, maybe Kulik could do something. Maybe not. He's kind of a tweener.
Like how he's doing now.
And like he was a guy that was like a top, and maybe he's not a number one center, but like he has to play the role because of what's happened. But like he's a guy that's at least a positive contributor to the team.
Yeah, and they're not looking to do that again because, like you said, they know they're done if this season's ends.
They don't want to take the risk,
so they want to win now. But
that's not helping you win.
Yeah. What would help you win is actually playing them.
But we'll see. They play Detroit tomorrow at home.
Maple Leafs on Friday. We'll see what that crowd's like. 7:30 face-off at KeyBank Center. Normally a lot of Maple Leafs fans in KeyBank Center, but World Series Game 1 at 8.
Ooh.
So we'll see what the crowd...
On Friday?
Might be, yeah.
And Saturday they probably play again, don't they?
Yeah, I think so.
So the home and home might be a little...
Yeah. You might see more Sabres fans and Leafs fans at KeyBank Center for the first time in how long? Could be interesting.
I know before we end, Jays, think they're going to win?
I'm going to be honest with you. I want them to win. I would like to see Vladimir Guerrero Jr. win the World Series. I think, just watching them win last night and the way they did was pretty cool. The Dodgers, I think, are a wagon.
I think it's Dodgers in 6.
Yeah, I would say so. Maybe Dodgers in 5. I genuinely...
Their starting pitching is just too good.
It's too good. Ohtani can do it himself, pretty much. He could take out a team by himself. 6 innings, 10 Ks, and homers.
3 homers.
3 homers. What are we doing here? What kind of lab do they have in Japan? Like, that's what I want to know. Where was he created?
It's very funny.
What planet is he from?
This is going to get a little off topic, but I'll say it.
Mm-hmm.
It's very funny, like, how blessed you have to be that we are witnessing this from Ohtani.
Oh, I know.
Like, people are going to remember this.
They're going to look back on him.
Years.
Yeah.
It's like, you can never... I'm not the biggest LeBron fan, but again, it's been cool watching him play. Like, we didn't get to see Jordan play.
No, that's one person I wish I
we got to see LeBron play. We got to see Michael Phelps swim. We got to see Usain Bolt run. Like, we've been pretty blessed. I mean, we never saw Muhammad Ali or, I mean, maybe Mike Tyson fought.
Mike
count
Tyson.
Not the Jake Paul.
Not the Jake Paul fight.
I don't know if he's fought, like, when we were, like, 2. Like, he might have still
He was
going.
probably wrapping up when we were young.
But we never saw prime Mike. Like, there's some athletes where it's like, oh, man, we never got to see, like
we are, I'll say
guys.
We're seeing Mahomes,
Josh
Allen.
We saw Brady.
We saw Tom Brady our entire childhood.
Patrick Mahomes.
Allen can be up there.
I mean, Tom Brady was Tom Brady was more of a nightmare than a...
Well, yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, it's cool. I think it's unique to be able to say I was alive when these cool sporting events happen. That's the cool thing about sports.
Yeah. We'll see if any others come up as time goes on. They're bound to be. It would
be nice to have some championships in Buffalo.
It would, because then you really could put Allen in that conversation.
Non-bandits, sorry.
No, Sorry, Bandits. Apparently,
know.
their CBA is getting figured out.
Yeah, they got figured out apparently, which is good for us. And
very good.
I gotta be honest, I don't really know. They have a bunch of free agents, a lot of big names. Matt Vince, Chase Frazier, some more. I don't know how any of that stuff works.
I have
the cap
no
space.
idea how the NLL operates.
I'll be honest. So when someone smarter than us figures out the roster and all that,
maybe we'll have a Bandits guest on.
Maybe
to break some things down, the CBA stuff down, all that.
But
so
that seems like a positive. And listen, the Bisons are, their parent club is the Jays, and
would you get a ring working for the Bisons? No, you wouldn't.
But I didn't say I had to see how many. I should do this for the next pod. I gotta see how many people on the Blue Jays roster I've seen play in a Bison uniform.
I know just from
quite a bit.
producing the games on the radio. Ernie Clement, someone I heard quite a bit.
Clement, Lucas. I've seen Springer because he's been injured.
Springer,
Vlad obviously has come up.
Yep.
Kirk played this year. Varsho played. Scherzer.
Max Scherzer.
Your Savage has played this year.
A lot of Buffalo
Barger.
Bisons. Yeah. Barger, that's right. I'm just thinking of Pat Malacaro's voice in my head.
There's been a lot of players that have played, and Buffalonian in the bullpen is a name that he used to be the closer for the Bison. So yeah, that's the cool part about being in working for a AAA team is then when they play in the baseball, and it's when there's big postseason moments and everyone's like, yeah, Ernie Clement killed the Yankees. It's like, oh, I saw Ernie Clement play when he couldn't.
Yeah.
When he was batting 250 back in July.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I wish for them to win. I just don't think it'll happen. I think the Dodgers are too
first time in our life. That sounds a cool thing
with baseball.
It was kind of cool to be this is the first time in our lifetime the Jays are a game away from going to the World Series. Because I think they lost in 6 games in the LCS when they won the mid 2010s.
Yeah.
It was kind of a little surreal. It's when the Bills. I said this in my head in the Bills in the fourth quarter when they were up 22-21. I was like, man, the Bills are 14 runs away from the Super Bowl. This is the closest they've been. Obviously, they didn't, but I was in my head. I was like, this is kind of, it's kind of cool, but who knows?
It's tough. It's tough for the Blue Jays. We'll see. It's a tough road ahead.
Hey, but you know what? They showed that they've been resilient all year, down 2-0, losing both games at home, down 3-2, coming down 3-1 in the game, Game 7. They've shown that they have guys that just have that clutch gene.
Yeah.
And it only takes one swing in October. One swing. And
you're absolutely right. And you saw it last night.
It's not like the Dodgers. I'll say this. It's not like the Dodgers have been hitting the cover off the ball. They've been pitching really well. Their bats have been a little cold. So
yeah, Ohtani's been a one-man show.
That's what I'm saying. Even him, he was struggling before that. So I don't know. The Jays have been really good contact hitters, putting the ball in play. They can work some counts against these starting pitchers. Go to the Dodger bullpen that's a little weaker than their starting pitching.
Gotta hope for the best.
Gotta hope for the best.
Just
gotta win 4 games out of 7.
It'll be interesting to see what they could do. Again, rooting for the Blue Jays, our neighbors up north. But without further ado, that's going to do it for this edition of the Buffalonian Podcast. I'm Joe Cali. As always, I've been joined by none other than Dom Lawson. Dom, how do we always end these, buddy?
Go Bills, baby.
Go Bills.